Good evening, Mayor Boyles, council members, and members of the executive team. My name is Anya Goldstein. I'm a 7-year plus El Segundo resident. I'm a homeowner, and I'm also a small business owner. And I'm one of Keith Puckett's many, many friends in this community. I'm appalled, but I am not surprised by what's happened to Keith twice in the last 2 months. Our town has a legacy of racial profiling, of deciding who belongs and who doesn't belong in El Segundo, and enforcing those determinations through police harassment. This has to end now. I stand with Keith and I support his calls for accountability. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Goldstein.
Dave Holub? Dave?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Dave Holub, and I am an El Segundo resident of 7 years and also a small business owner. And I'm also speaking tonight in support of Keith Puckett. What has happened to him and other members of our community is terrible and cannot be allowed to continue. While I appreciate the creation of the DEI committee and that it is finally starting to do some work, creating that committee and relying on it alone is not enough. This issue is one that cannot wait any longer. We need immediate changes in action to make our residents feel safe. We need to understand by what policies this keeps happening over and over as we keep getting reports of it. As Keith said, Chief Whalen has indicated that the police department has a policy of targeting out-of-town plates from, which is a policy that clearly has a disparate and extremely discriminatory impact on people of color. And it makes clear the reason why people talk about driving while black or brown through El Segundo, like we heard recently from the DEI committee when they met with Aerospace Corporation employees, because they would be right. They are more likely to be pulled over. If you have friends or family visiting from those cities at night, they should be worried. In this day and age, that is absurd and ridiculous. Chief Whalen's Neighborhood Watch training program is very focused on the idea that residents should be watching out for suspicious behavior, not suspicious people or appearances. But what is suspicious about a car from another city simply driving into town? This is the exact same targeting based on appearance that Chief Whalen is strongly against with the Neighborhood Watch, and then he still uses this policy in his department's policing practices. The impact of this policy, as we have clearly seen time and again, is that people of color are targeted by police. This is a clear hypocritical double standard. This policy is simply unjustified, flawed, and a biased crime prevention policy that has the very real direct effect that we are seeing here, that disproportionately is targeting people of color simply because of where they live and not based on their behavior, with no evidence that it prevents any crime. This is obvious discrimination of the kind that Chief Whalen has said he wants to put an end to, and it has to end now. Please take this seriously and make it a priority. Your residents and their families are hurting and looking to you for action. Thank you for your time.